Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
We're just a rambunctious couple in love that loves reacting to some RWBY.
Yes, we do.
So this is RWBY Beyond. These are all the episodes for that. And if you want all of our reactions for RWBY, we got a playlist for you in the description of this video. If you want early ad-free access for our reactions, check out Patreon. Links in the description of this video. Are you ready to do this?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
True Detectives?
It was storming the night the case file came in. I've never had a file turn my stomach quite like this one did. I remember it like it was yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Dude, come on.
I'm sorry. Accuracy is important.
Team RWBY is missing. And John too, I guess.
No case is too difficult for
The junior detective.
Okay, nice.
Oh, amazing.
Sudden note too.
Excuse me.
Our first step was obvious. Interrogate the suspects.
Witnesses.
What do you remember? Tell us.
Pretend this is
I'm
Ren.
not sure what can be done, but I'm happy to cooperate and aid your investigation to the fullest extent that I am able to.
But like always, pulling information is like pulling teeth.
Did you not hear what I said?
This story checks out. Next!
I already told you. I wasn't even there. Plus, I don't talk to cops. Or whatever you two are. Ow! No, it's me, remember?
On to the next perp.
I told you to stop calling me a perp. Do you even know what perpetrator means?
Of course I do. And for all we know, you are the purple traitor.
Guys, not even Ozpin and Oscar know what happened to them. We were told not to fall, and they fell. That's it.
You just didn't follow instructions.
We're lost. No leads.
Leadless.
We engaged in spirited debate, squeezing our genius brains of every last drop of detective juice.
I'm so dry.
We almost gave up. Until...
Grape soda.
I've got it!
Nice. I mean, what is it, fellow detective?
The headmasters, Professor Ozpin,
Oscar?
and Professor Theodore.
Now, sure, you could say that it makes sense that the two are meeting up a lot. They are in charge after all, but something just didn't feel right.
We kept taking lefts. Who would do such a thing?
Using our ultimate stealth and disguise skills, we were able to follow
Oscar.
and eavesdrop on one of their meetings. We were shocked, startled even.
It wasn't just Oscar and Theodore meeting up, but Winter and Raven, two maidens.
Cool.
Even more interesting, a mysterious girl was there too. Could she be the summer
I
maiden?
already told you, there's no way. Besides, there's no more room on our suspects board. No more new characters. I mean perps.
But then, before we could really hear anything juicy, well, you showed up.
Yeah, then we told you the whole story, and now you're all caught up. And why do you look so angry? Oh no, please spare us! Yeah.
Well, I guess the location of Team RWBY and John is still
And
a
Sean.
mystery.
I just hope they know that we haven't
Poor
given up.
Sean.
And I hope they haven't given up either.
He's the Aunt Peggy.
Yeah. And Peggy. Yep, he is. Plus Sean.
This is the very first entry in what I guess is about to become my journal. Just feels like something you do when you want to keep your daily life in perspective. And now that I've been young and old and young again, it's not always easy to keep things in perspective these days. I know I lost it for a little bit there. Being back with my team helps, even though things aren't the same. Rin and Nora have their own thing they're working through, and I'm not the same boy they knew. I'm the rusted knight. Nora loves reminding people of that, by the way. They usually just look at her like it's some kind of inside joke they're not a part of.
Just a big banana on top of...
These days I'd rather forget. I guess I was the rusted knight, but the rusted knight wasn't really me. Who is Jean now?
All your experiences,
Lately,
dude.
I've been spending more time with the person I thought might relate most.
And how is that journal going?
I haven't quite started yet. Soon, though.
It'll help.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't feel like anything will. Don't get me wrong, I'm not unhappy to be back. I just feel out of place. Like I've left the world by and it's done the same.
Believe me, I know what that's like. I've been the subject of a couple of fairy tales myself.
You mean Ozpin has, right?
Of course. If you're not sure where to start, I do have a suggestion, if you'd like.
Sure.
Think about the good times. What little they might have been that you spent in the ever after.
Just focus on the positive.
No, not like that. It might be able to help you remember what it was all for. And rewrite the story in your own way.
The good times. I remember Alex and Lewis. Those early days of getting to know each other were magical. It's like I was living someone else's life. For me, the secret that I knew a little of what was happening to all of us was exciting. Lewis was a puzzle, since he wasn't part of the story I knew, but he figured out really quickly that I knew more than I was letting on. We compared notes on Remnant. Oh, they couldn't believe I was from the faraway future. I couldn't believe they were from Vacuo. Back before the war. Before Huntsman. I remember the first time we tried to shop at the Garden Acre. They didn't have days of the week, so they invented one. Splatter Day, just for us humans. You know, for a while, they ended up having Splatter Day every day because they didn't understand. But every Splatter Day, there was a farmer's market, only instead of buying produce, you bought farmers who would grow it for you for a little bit. We would roast things by the fire every night.
Including the farmers.
It was those campfires I remember most. Lewis writing everything down in his journal. The story he'd one day tell to help lead my friends to me. Oh, and in those early days, every night around the campfire, when I tell them my story, my adventures, oh, they always seemed so amazed. Which was weird because it was just my life. The mistakes I'd made. And the times I'd gotten lucky. It was like having my team back. People around you who make you feel more than you are. Or maybe they see you in a way you can't see yourself. It's the same kind of warmth that a good fire brings. And laughter. And a good meal. I see those campfires all across Vacuo at night, and I wonder what people are sharing, what they're building, the hope they're stoking, and what they'll be saying when this is all over. I guess maybe there's something to this after all.
Perspective.
Yeah. Do you think we're gonna make it?
Around that campfire. Did it matter?
No. No, I guess it didn't.
Deep in the branches of the great tree stood
Somewhat.
somewhat brave creature,
Yay.
ready to start a new journey with their trusty steed, Juniper.
I can do this. I can do this. We can do this. Together, we can do anything.
They were right to be somewhat nervous. Having a new purpose can be tough, and this was an important one at that.
Let's go.
You see, things had been a bit different in the Ever After lately. Tasked by the blacksmith, they were given a somewhat ambiguous quest: find what feels wrong. When asked where to look, the blacksmith simply replied, "Do what your heart desires. Do what feels right." Still somewhat unsure of where to go, they first followed their hearts to the newly rebuilt acre of the genial gems.
Wow, everything looks so shiny. Excuse me. Have you seen anything out of the ordinary?
They were somewhat sad to be ignored, but also marveled at the gems' concentration. You see, the gems once had a hero that helped them day in and day out. But because of that, they thought not of themselves.
Aww.
Oh, we do not mean to be rude. We are just busy, said a nearby gem. The more that we help ourselves now, the more we can help others in the future. I, however, am currently resting, an important part of physical activity, so I can assist you. It makes me happy to make you happy, the gem exclaimed. It makes me less happy to tell you that we have seen no ordinary or out of ordinary things of late, just ourselves.
Thank you.
Next, their heart desired a sweeter smell.
That's pretty.
Did something bad happen here? I hope everyone is okay.
Yes, they reply. But we've all come together, and because of that, we're stronger. Finding nothing wrong, they were somewhat discouraged. Their heart led them nowhere. How may I assist you? The herbalist asked.
Oh, we're not yet ready to return to the tree. We still have our purpose.
I see. May I ask a small favor? There is an afterend in need. Please, do what feels right.
This place feels wrong.
Guided not by their heart, but an afterend in need, they entered the empty Crimson Keep. Typically ruled over by the loyal guards of the Red Prince, no such army appeared to be present. After searching and searching, they finally stumbled upon a lone occupant. The Red Prince himself.
Where is everyone?
Without looking up, the prince muttered, "I sent them away. How
For their
could one
heads.
expect them to be ruled by someone like me?"
Who is someone like you?
The prince's trance on the game piece finally broke, and the two locked eyes for the first time. You seem familiar.
As do you. I wonder if we used to be friends.
The prince smiled. I wonder. Please, sit. Let's play a game.
Oh, I'm so
He's a
sorry,
cheater.
but I have a job.
As do I, the prince interrupted. And if you beat me, I'll happily help you with yours.
So, what is your purpose?
To win this game.
That doesn't seem very fair. What if my purpose was to win too?
Such is the way of our life.
What if it doesn't have to be? I'm still new here, but I've met loads of afterends and people that have grown and found new things to do, even without going to the tree. Who knows? Maybe you could teach others to win. Speaking of, I won! I think? I'm sorry.
After a long silence, the Red Prince finally spoke. Thank you for playing with me, little one. I've learned a lot.
That felt right.
It seemed that more than a somewhat big impression had been left on the prince, and there was one less wrong thing in the ever after. Their purpose complete, they desired nothing more than a rest after their grand adventure. Unfortunately, life is seldom as straightforward. I saw someone that they were somewhat not prepared to see.
You're back!
You think it's Neapolitan?
That's what I would guess.
Huh.
'Cause she had to emerge from her
Yeah.
tree cocoon.
This one's about boba tea.
So, what exactly is this big surprise all about?
I wouldn't call it big exactly.
What? You've been hyping it up since
It's actually kind of small.
So, a small surprise.
It's more exciting than a surprise,
So, I should be excited.
but not too excited. Ugh, I don't know, maybe it's dumb.
Got it. Setting expectations to moderate for a surprise that may or may not be cool.
Perfect.
Why are you being weird?
I'm not weird, you're the weird one. It's just been a
Like an
while
alfalfa thing going on
since
too.
we got to do the sisterly thing.
You're right. And if you make this no fun, I probably just won't ever want to be sisters again. See how dumb that sounds? Ow!
Excuse me, are you Ruby?
Yep, that's me. I'm a Ruby.
You're the girl who sent the message, the one who brought the world together.
Oh my goodness, can we take a picture?
Oh, yeah, happily. Okay, where do you want to take it? Am I taking the photo? I am never getting used to that.
Still wanting those normal knees, huh? Personally, I think it's about time everybody knew how cool my sister is.
I never imagined all this. Here in Vacuo, they need more than a mascot.
It's
It's
not
mascot. You're hope.
too much.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, Yang? You brought me to all the flavors!
It is boba tea.
The smoothies! The boba!
So, is it the right amount of exciting?
Are you kidding? Why did you even downplay this? That brought back so many memories.
Apparently they closed up shop and patch and relocated here with the rest of the refugees from Vale.
Remember how we used to come here with Dad after school?
It used to be a once-a-month treat, but by the time we were done at Signal, it was almost twice a week. Do you wonder why he's not here with everybody else? I know Crow said he's on assignment, but what's more important than here?
Maybe we don't have the full picture.
I don't know. Some things you just need to be there for. Ruby, about what happened in the ever after.
Which part?
I don't need an explanation. I think I get it. It doesn't even matter if I do completely.
Yang,
I understand my part in you feeling like you couldn't talk to anybody about what you were going through. And that it's hard to even know what you're going through when you're in the middle of it.
Well said.
I just need you to know you're not alone. You can't be alone. Not with the world the way that it is. And not with what we and our team have all been through. We're not going back to the version of Team RWBY where you put everything on your shoulders. Where we put everything on your shoulders. From now on, we do it together.
As it turns out, the hardest thing about being a leader is asking for help. I thought I wasn't allowed. Thank you, Yang. Bad news, though. I still don't know how to do it.
Well, maybe we need a code word. So we know when we're feeling overwhelmed but don't know how to ask.
How about boba?
Yeah. Boba.
By the way, you promised we would go shopping like weeks ago. When's that happening?
Priority right now?
Those were sweet, and it was nice checking in with like, I don't know, little like slice of life for each of them. I mean, the first one was ridiculous with the two detectives.
That was so great, though.
Yeah, it was. Like, before the voiceover started, I was going to start the voiceover. I was going to start doing like, it was a cold and rainy night. Just like any other night.
The film noir,
Yeah.
the dark rainy night, the shadow of the blinds. Like,
yeah.
So great.
It's quite perfect. And then we both gave each other a look because of like the word, the secret word, like, no, that things like aren't going all right. Because we have that so as well. So that was like, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what Jean and Oscar were saying, because that's it in a nutshell, right? That's why family, friends, your home, like all of that is so important, because otherwise you're left to think about like, are we going to make it? You know, all the anxiety of everything else creeps in. The point is, when you're with those people, when you are with the people or in the environment that puts you at ease and gives you peace, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you have a relief from that. Outside of that, the anxiety of the world creeps in. And no, Jean, none of us are making it out alive, so you got to make the best of it while you can. That's the easy answer.
Glad you were there to give Jean a pep talk. No, Jean, we're all going to die, all right? Might not be tomorrow, but it'll happen. Except for me. Except for me, Oscar. I will continue to live.
Forever.
Forever. My soul will just, keep getting reincarnated. But,
Yeah.
That's...
I mean, obviously he's asking more about, like, them in the aftermath of everything. I know. And I get that. But all I'm saying is, we're not getting out of here alive. So you got to find those moments to, like... That's true.
I know it's true, but it's just people expect a little more positivity from us. Come on.
But the positive thing is what you do with it in the meantime.
I actually was going to talk about the same one. I like that one stuck out to me as well, is that the moment Oscar asked him that question of like, when you're with them, like, does that question matter? And it's about living in the moment, and the reason that like we do want, like, I don't know, stress out about money or like career or relationships and all these different things is to have those moments, right? To have those moments where we're just hanging out and not thinking about it. We're just enjoying the moment itself. And I think that's it. Like, that's what you need to do more. We all need to do more often. Like, we talked about this before about kind of like, like meditation and like the Buddhist philosophy of like, just like living in the moment itself. And like the moment right now is the best moment. And, don't think too much about the future and the past, and trying to make the now that you're living in, like, just like kind of like soak it up. Something that always comes up whenever I think about this kind of like philosophy of living in the moment is The Office with Ed Helms' character. And he was talking about like, he's like, how do you know? Like, he's like, I wish there was a way to know that you were living through the good times when they were happening. Because he would talk about, like, when he was at the office, all he would talk about is his time at Cornell. If you're not familiar with this character, you talk about like his time like in college and how amazing this time in college was. And then like, at the end, he's talking about all his time at work and how amazing his time at work was. He's like, oh man, these are the good old days. Like, I just wish you could appreciate that time as you're going through it instead of trying to reminisce about the past.
Or worry about the future.
Exactly.
Which very few people live in the present moment. We're conditioned to worry about what's to come. We are conditioned to think about the past and the good old times. It's one of the reasons why nostalgia is so rampant in our society and our entertainment right now, is because like it brings us back to those feelings and those memories, which is great. And there is an absolute place for that and feel good. And God, I do it all the time. The number of times I've rewatched movies just because they make me feel good. I probably can't even count. Like, I could not tell you how many times I've seen the movie Jurassic Park. I couldn't honestly give even a ballpark. And so like that's a great and wonderful thing that we as humans can experience, is being transported back to those feelings and those memories. But we can't exclusively live there. We also have to live here and create new ones. Like, I remember for all the times I've seen Jurassic Park, one of the very fun ones was when we went to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery for 4th of July when they did Jurassic Park. We both wound up falling asleep as we picnicked there halfway through the movie. But it was that thing of just being so content and feeling so secure in that moment that in a park full of people, well, a cemetery full of people, if we're honest, watching Jurassic Park on a giant screen, we were able to enjoy a great picnic and then feel full and content and doze off and create a whole new memory for that movie that I now have associated with it.
I mean, we saw all the great parts though, at least, you know. Yeah. So
the end with the T-Rex and then fireworks are in the background. Oh.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So we both think that somewhat saw Neapolitan at the end there, right?
That's my assumption.
Yeah, that's what I was led to believe as well. So I am curious to see what the new Neapolitan sort of chooses to be.
The only thing with that theory, when Tiny was gone and somewhat was
Little,
when Little was gone and somewhat was created, while there was a similarity in the mouse appearance,
He didn't have all the same memories, yeah.
and it looked different. So for her to be so instantaneously, like, whoever she saw was very instantaneously recognizable to someone, because she was like, I forget what she said, but it was like, oh, you again, or you're back, or something like that. And so this was clearly somebody whom she had seen before returning in the same form that somewhat had the memory of them. And I don't think somewhat and Neapolitan ever met.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know who would have come back then. Well, that's why I got to continue the series.
They have to.
Yeah, exactly.
They have to, please.
I do like that Yang took responsibility somewhat of their placing too much burden on Ruby as well. Like, now it wasn't just herself like doing it. Like, they sort of allowed Ruby to have the burden of that leadership, and then Ruby thinking that, like, also, yeah, being a leader means you can't ask for help, because as a leader, you want to act like you know everything and you got it all under control. And like, if you ask for help or whatever, then people start to wonder, like, oh, does this person really know what they're doing? And like, should this person be a leader? Like, it's so I can see that part of it as well.
We're sort of in a period of time, especially in like the business world and all, where the idea, the concept of leadership is being, I think, somewhat revolutionized. And within that, there is Brene Brown is one whom I follow a lot with her podcast, and I have a book of hers and whatnot. And she has a Netflix special too. I think it's a Netflix special. But, you know, talking about how real leadership, the leadership that earns that loyalty and that trust, is the leadership that can also show vulnerability, is the leadership that has the humility to ask for help, to ask for other people's opinions, to recognize that they may not be the smartest person in the room, but even if they are, they will benefit from the knowledge, perspective, and opinions of others. Even if that's not ultimately, like, that doesn't mean they have to take what they say 100%.
Yeah.
They'll still benefit from that, from hearing that perspective. Ruby fell into the trap that anyone does, especially being a young leader, which is the thought that because they are young, they have to kind of prove themselves and prove their experience and carry the mantle and show that, like, they can do it. And with that, there's often the belief that then, like, they have to do it alone. And I'm so pleased to see what Yang said and to see how Ruby acknowledged it and received it. And again, they have to continue the show because like, there's going to be a new evolution to this team that we have to see.
So let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you want early ad-free access, you can get a month ahead on Patreon. Patreon.com/DefinitelyNotDefinitive, or click the link in the description of the video.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching RWBY with us, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.